A single-dad CEO who had just lost his wife was stunned to find his fiancée chained up inside a burning car. He quickly pulled her out of the car and into an embrace. And when he looked closer at the chains, he realized they were connected to something sinister. Danny's heart sank as he stared at the smoldering remains of his car. The once pristine white vehicle was now a charred skeleton, its metal bones twisted and warped by the intense heat of the fire. He couldn't believe that this was the same car he had been driving just hours before. The same car that was supposed to be a symbol of his new beginning with the love of his life, Olivia. But it wasn't just the car that was destroyed. It was also the hope and happiness that had been blossoming in Danny's life. His world had been turned upside down when his wife Emily died unexpectedly from a sudden illness. He had been left alone to raise their 2 young children, a daunting task that filled him with both grief and trepidation. Amidst his sorrow, Danny found solace in the unwavering support of his close friend, Olivia. She was a strong and compassionate woman who understood the pain of losing a spouse, having lost her husband years ago. As they helped each other navigate the treacherous waters of grief, a spark ignited between them, leading to a deep and meaningful relationship. Like Danny, CEO of a thriving tech company, juggled the demands of his career with the responsibilities of single parenthood. Despite the challenges, he was determined to create a loving and stable environment for his children. One evening, as Danny and his kids were tucking into dinner, they started talking about how much they missed Emily. Danny's heart broke at the sight of his children's tearful faces. He longed to protect them from any further pain, but he knew that time was the only thing that could truly heal their wounds. Just then, Olivia arrived, bringing with her a warm smile and a comforting presence. She had become an integral part of their lives, offering not just emotional support, but also practical help with the children. Seeing the toll that grief was taking on Danny and his kids, Olivia decided to take a bold step. She confessed her love for Danny and proposed that they should get married. Overwhelmed with emotion, Danny realized that Olivia was right. He'd found love again, and it was time to embrace it. He accepted her proposal, and soon they were planning their dream wedding. As the day of the wedding approached, excitement filled the air. Danny's children were overjoyed at the prospect of having a new mother, and Olivia couldn't wait to start her new chapter. The wedding ceremony was beautiful, filled with love, laughter, and tears. As Danny and Olivia exchanged their vows, they promised to support each other through thick and thin, to cherish their love, and to build a future together. However, as the celebration drew to a close and the newlyweds were ready to drive off in their new car, a horrifying sight awaited them. The car was on fire, its tires squealing and its engine roaring like a wounded beast. But that wasn't the most shocking thing. Chained to the driver's seat was Olivia, her face pale and her eyes wide with terror. Danny felt a surge of adrenaline as he rushed towards the burning car. The flames seemed to lick at him, reaching out as if trying to stop him. But his determination was stronger. He had to save Olivia. Danny quickly assessed the situation. The fire was spreading rapidly, and he didn't have much time. He tried to break the chains with his bare hands, but they were too strong. Thinking quickly, he remembered a small toolbox he kept in the car for emergencies. Grabbing it, he started working furiously to loosen the chains. The heat from the fire intensified, making it difficult for Danny to breathe. The smoke was thick and acrid, stinging his eyes and burning his throat. But he didn't care. He couldn't let Olivia be consumed by the flames. With a final jerk, the chain holding Olivia's leg snapped, freeing her from the restraints. Danny wasted no time. He helped her out of the car and away from the danger zone, shielding her with his body as they ran. Once they were a safe distance away from the flaming wreckage, Danny turned to Olivia, his heart pounding in his chest. Her face was covered in soot, making it difficult to see her features, but he could see the terror that was etched on her face. "Olivia, are you okay?" he asked, his voice hoarse from the smoke. She nodded, her voice too choked with emotion to speak. Danny wanted to do more, to comfort her, to tell her everything would be all right, but he didn't know what to say. He could only wrap her in a tight hug, hoping she could feel the sincerity of his concern. As they stood there embracing, the flames suddenly flared up, reaching towards the sky like a desperate plea for help. The fire was out of control. Danny and Olivia watched in horror as the flames spread, licking at the dry grass and trees, threatening to engulf everything in their path. They had to get away from here, but where could they go? Suddenly, Danny remembered his lake house, a small cabin he had bought a few years ago as a getaway from the city. It was secluded, and the nearest neighbors were miles away. It was their best chance. Without wasting a moment, Danny grabbed Olivia's hand and started running towards his car. He had to get them both to safety. The fire was spreading too fast, and the smoke was getting thicker. As they drove away from the burning car, neither Danny nor Olivia spoke. They were both shaken to the core, their minds struggling to comprehend what had happened. The silence was deafening, broken only by the sound of their ragged breaths and the beating of their hearts. When they finally arrived at Danny's lake house, it was as if an oasis in the desert. The sprawling cabin looked like a beacon of hope, offering refuge from the chaos that had become their lives. But as they stepped out of the car, they noticed something strange. There were tire tracks in the dirt road leading up to the house. Tracks that shouldn't have been there. Someone had been here recently. Overcome with a mix of relief and exhaustion, Danny and Olivia made their way to the lake house. Inside, they found a note on the table, neatly written and emotionally charged. It was from Emily, Danny's late wife. The note explained that she had never truly left him, and that she had orchestrated the events that led to Olivia's kidnapping. Emily claimed that she had done it to protect Danny from Olivia, who she believed was a bad influence on him.
Ow.
Danny felt betrayed and heartbroken. He had loved Emily with all his heart and had mourned her loss deeply. To think that she had been manipulating him all along was a devastating realization. But as he read further, he discovered a shocking twist. Emily revealed that she was terminally ill and that she had faked her own death to collect on Danny's life insurance for their children's future. She expressed remorse for her actions and asked for forgiveness. Danny crumpled the note in his fist, his heart heavy with a mixture of emotions. He couldn't believe that Emily, the woman he had shared his life with, the mother of his children, would stoop so low. But amidst his anger and betrayal, a wave of pity washed over him. He realized that Emily's actions were driven by desperation, a desperate attempt to secure a future for their children. Danny knew he had to act quickly. The police were still searching for Olivia, and time was running out. He had to find her before it was too late. Despite the shock and disbelief he was experiencing, Danny was determined to save his fiancée. He contacted one of his tech experts, instructing him to track Olivia's phone. The location it pinged back was an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. Danny wasted no time. He jumped into his car and raced towards the warehouse, his heart pounding in his chest. Upon arriving at the grimy warehouse, Danny's instincts told him to be cautious. He crept closer, his eyes scanning the surroundings for any sign of life. The only sound was the distant hum of machinery and the beating of his own heart. Suddenly, a noise from inside the warehouse made him freeze. It was a muffled cry, a cry that sent a jolt of fear through him. He wasn't alone. Danny took a deep breath, trying to calm his racing heart. He knew he had to act quickly. Olivia's life could be in danger. Taking a few steps back, he spotted a loose brick near the foundation. With a surge of adrenaline, he kicked it, revealing a hole that had been cleverly concealed. Cautiously, Danny crawled through the hole, his eyes adjusting to the dim light filtering through cracks in the ceiling. He moved deeper into the warehouse, his every sense on high alert. Then he saw her. Olivia was tied up on a chair in the corner, her face bruised and her eyes filled with fear. A man with a menacing grin was approaching her.